Welcome back to the Back 9 Round 4 coverage of the 2018 Ledgestone Insurance Open at the Eureka Temp course. This event is sponsored by Discraft and the coverage powered by Nick Productions. I'm David Hopkins, sitting next to Steve Rachan. On the card today, we have Cale Leiviska, Philo Brathwaite, Michael Johansen, and Calvin Heimburg. Brathwaite sitting in the lead on this card at 16 under par, Cale 15, MJ 14, as well as Calvin at 14. Steve, tell me a little bit about hole 10 here.
Hole 10, the second hole of a 4 birdie streak, 450 feet, slight downhill, par 3. Players are either going to be playing a flip-up hyzer on the right-hand side or a big sidearm or roller if they have it in their arsenal.
Come on, Wayne, help me out.
Yeah, and it looks like Philo's going with that backhand, but looks like he may have turned it over a little too much, and he went into Nettleland.
Yeah, he was asking for the wind to help him out. Wonder if he changed his throw, depending on what was coming at him.
And Johansen coming in with that hyzer route, and it looks pretty good. Yeah, just probably about 38 feet or so outside circle 1, but a look at the birdie 2. And Cale, similar line, needs it to break right before Nettleland there, and it does.
Yeah,
right
Cale's
next to
played
Cale's
that shot the same every round we've seen him play. Just throws that hyzer just in front of the bush line. But Crusher Calvin going right at it, but does not get the fade in the end that he was looking for. Gets hung up. Fortunate enough that he's able to just pitch out, hitting a little bit of shrubbery, but being inside the circle to save the par.
MJ, a good bid, front cage. And moving on to Cale, I'm going to guess it's going in. Oh, what a good little jumper.
A little bit of a straddle scissor kick there. Putts through the tree in the basket. Who we got here? Philo. He turned it over, but he fought all the way pin high and gets the birdie.
There it is. Nice putt. Philo, get that birdie streak going again.
Yeah, he definitely needed that one, as we have only 8 more holes, and he's hoping to push as far up the leaderboard as he can. Calvin, he's able to scramble the par from where he was. No problem with that, as we see MJ tapping in for the par as well. After 10 holes, what are our scores looking like, Dave?
Well, we have Philo remaining in the lead on this card at 17 under par. Cale right behind him at 16 under par, and 2 behind Cale is both Calvin and Michael Johansen at 14 under par. Moving on to one of the easier holes on the course, a must-get, especially in this round 4 where every stroke matters. Tell us a little more about it, Steve.
Yeah, agreed. We're calling this hole easy, and that's because it was the easiest hole on the course this round, playing .44 under par.
Oh, and Philo squeaks a little out of bounds. He's inside the circle, but he's going to be putting for that 3. And if there's any turnover shot that Cale can do, it is this one. Maybe a little shorter than he wanted.
Yeah, a little bit shorter. We did call this the easiest hole in the course, but they're not making it look like the easiest hole. The only upside to this is that once you go out of bounds, you play it where it last crossed inbounds. You don't have to go to a drop zone. So even though Philo did go out of bounds, he still has the opportunity to get up and down, hit the putt, and save his par.
Yeah, but he's still not happy going out of bounds.
Agreed. But Calvin playing the wide sidearm hyzering over the OB back inbounds inside the circle.
Great
and
looking putt.
MJ with a great correction after missing low from about the same distance on the previous hole.
See if Cale can get that birdie streak alive. Yes, he does. Nice putt there, Cale, from circle's edge, maybe just outside.
We watched Cale do that back-to-back rounds, where in round 3, Cale missed a low putt from about 30 feet on hole 9, just like in this round, but then hit a clean, higher putt on hole 11 for the birdie.
And you see Philo there tapping in for his unfortunate bogey 4 after going out of bounds, and Calvin putting in that birdie.
Yeah, that 4 is definitely heartbreaking for Philo, as this plays the easiest hole on the course today, and watching the rest of his competitors take the birdie on this hole. We have a long walk over to the water tower, hole 12, so let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Some swirly vultures.
And after the stroll down the road, we have the infamous water tower hole here coming in at 354 feet, plays upwards of 380 feet. You really need to get around this water tower here. You do not want to hit it, Steve.
Yeah, earlier in the week we heard MJ talking about how he is playing a full flex just to get up the hill to get around the water tower.
You may...
Oh, no. No, stop rolling. Stop rolling.
Oh, and he hits the red flag. That's what I was talking about. You hit that water tower, more than likely it's going out of bounds. And here's what Steve alluded to. MJ in his full flex getting around the water tower. Oh, and he sits.
Oh, by the skin of his teeth, stays in bounds. And that's the tricky part of this hole, is that if you hit the water tower, you take an unpredictable roll or kick off of it. So Calvin elects to just ace run it, but no.
Oh, so he has to take from the drop zone still?
He has to go from the drop zone. So even though he went out of bounds deep, he has to go to the drop zone that's about 180, 200 feet, still uphill, and basket's blind from there. Oh, man, we see Philo pretty visibly upset with that shot.
Did he stay in bounds? I'm not too sure. Oh, and Cale almost puts it in from the drop zone. What a good shot there. And Calvin looking to match that. Maybe throw it in?
Ooh. Put himself in position.
Yeah, so it does look like Philo was out of bounds there. But he puts it up, and he's going to have to settle for that 4. Here's MJ for the birdie, too, though. Yeah,
Oh.
cashes. So MJ made the comment to me right after he nailed this great putt and said, I birdied this hole all 4 rounds, and I did not expect it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's impressive. Of
just
all
a
the
little
holes on
fun
this
fact,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, this hole is so difficult in the sense of, like, players truly have to commit to it. I mean, we saw players earlier in the week, like Brian Earhart, just laying up and saying, I'm just going to go for the 3, because if I'm out of bounds at all, I'm guaranteed at least a 4, if not worse.
That's right, and after Philo holding the lead the entire front 9, getting birdie after birdie, he falls to 15 under par. Johansen and Leiviska at 16 under par, and Calvin right behind them at 14 under par.
And here we have it, par 5, 1,080 feet.
Yeah, the players looking to throw in a couple of landing zones, a hyzer off the tee. If they land in the right spot, it's another hyzer, or there's a left gap, and then maybe another hyzer into the basket. Let's see if MJ can hit that first landing zone that we're talking about here.
Yeah, exactly. Hyzerville, Illinois going on right now. Throwing hyzer off the tee, hyzer on the upshot, hyzer on the next upshot, and then hopefully having a look for the birdie. MJ managing to clear the pond, getting in bounds. Cale is asking for it to get down, and he's doing that because players really actually want to keep it close to the shoreline. Because the closer to the shoreline, the better angle they have to throw over the water again to get to the next landing zone. If they throw it way too deep, they are in bounds. However, the fairway after the play is pretty low ceiling and tight to get distance to give themselves a chance to get on the green for the birdie.
I hear you, Steven. It looks like Philo put it in a good spot to get that hyzer off, and MJ's going to do that.
And he's running this down. He really wants to make sure that he comes back in bounds.
Yeah, that's
and yes,
great looking
sir.
shot there. Philo from a similar spot. Looks like he may have kept that a little low and a little wide. But I heard it hit the ground, and I believe it stayed in bounds there from Philo.
Yes, it did. Can Cale match those 2 shots? He has the height. He has the hyzer. Will he land in a solid spot? Oh, yes, he will. All 3 players so far are in prime position. Calvin does want to be left behind, so he smashes that hyzer and is ready to roll to the next shot.
Here we have MJ really looking to get inside the circle on this one. What would you say, maybe 320 feet from the basket, roughly from there?
Yeah, just about 320 feet, and it's very difficult because with the pond on the right-hand side and the trees around the basket, your depth perception looking at this basket is very difficult. So players are throwing their shot, and when it lands, you're not necessarily sure if it's close or not.
Cale landed in a good spot, but seems to be rolling
Oh,
out of bounds.
such
Unfortunate.
a rough roll away. Philo taking a little bit of a lower
visibly
approach.
upset there on that shot, but it didn't look that bad to me. He's inside the circle, but he was clapping his hands. Looks like he may not have hit the line he was looking for.
Exactly. We do see that a lot with these professional players where you may see the outcome is very good, but what they threw was not exactly what they were trying to do.
And Cale, good-looking shot. It rolled out of bounds.
Oh,
and
don't
this
do
one's
it to
gotta
him
stop.
again. Double warm-out roll into the water?
Oh, boy.
Man, this hole is brutal.
And Philo puts it in for his birdie. Still kind of looks upset, which is surprising. I mean, a good birdie on this hole. Gets him back on track after the water tower hole.
Maybe he's just sad for Cale. I mean,
May-
I'm sad for Cale.
Yeah, that's
Philo
so
might
hard
be
to
sad.
watch. Cale putting together a good round on the front nine. Essentially a great tournament.
Wow. So we hear in the background someone honking their horn as Cale is putting. Hits the chastity belt again and has to settle for a triple bogey.
Triple bogey 8 on the par 5. That is not what you're looking for, especially when you're losing 4 strokes to your card mates. So
Yeah,
we
I
have-
was bummed for Philo when he lost 2 strokes on 11. Cale gets the triple bogey, losing 4 strokes to the card.
Yeah, and MJ takes the sole possession of the lead on this card. We have this 805-foot par 4. It's a 2-shot hole, obviously, being a par 4. The first shot, you really need it to land about right where the drone is now, maybe a little farther, and then you're left with maybe 380 to 420 feet up to this basket here. Thrown over the water for your second shot, more than likely.
Yes, sir. Thankfully, players do not have to throw through the YMCA shenanigans in the fairway right now. They're just looking to get underneath that tree line, down the hill, and make sure that they don't hyzer too far left or skip too far left because, as we see, 15's fairway is right there, and out of bounds can come up quick.
Here's Heimburg, hitting a tree.
Would you say that was a good tree kick? It seemed like he was going to go out of bounds,
It
but
may have been. Oh, and here looks like Philo threw one into the ground again. He needs to get those ones up.
yeah, no matter what course you're on, worm burners are not good.
And after coming off that rough green on the previous hole, Cale puts a great looking shot out there on this hole 14. And Philo looking to crush one down there. He needs this to hyzer
Is
back.
he going for it? Oh, wow.
Stays safe there. Good shot. Calvin going for this one, and he is going to be inside circle 1. I'm guessing.
100%. Crusher Kelvin breaking the sound barrier in that throw, and he is 12 feet away.
He has, his last 6 or so shots been throwing hyzers, so it's pretty fresh to him, and just another hyzer there.
If it's working, keep it rolling, right?
Yeah, and you see Michael Johansen throw a nice hyzer up there, and Cale doing the same here. Let's see if he can get inside the circle and get back on that birdie streak.
Yeah, just getting right there on the edge of the circle. If Philo can hit this, it'd be such an incredible birdie after the low
Yeah,
drive.
he's outside circle 2 there. Just maybe a half go, but I mean, it was a far putt. He was, 80 feet away, and MJ putting under the basket as well.
There we go, Cale. Hitting that great birdie. True professional there. After taking a triple bogey on hole 13, picks it right back up, gets the birdie, and says, you know what, let's finish out strong. We only have 4 holes left to play.
And the rest of these players just tapping in here on 14. Bunch of pars there. We are going to take a look at these scores here as Johansen sitting out top at 17 under, Brathwaite 16, as well as Heimburg, and Cale battling back at 14 under par.
All right, as we are finishing up the final round with 4 holes left to go, we're at the 3rd easiest hole of the course today. Hole 15, 315 feet, vastly uphill, probably playing 360 in power. Kelvin going with the sidearm.
Yeah, one of the few sidearms we've seen from Calvin, but it looks good. Oh, yeah. He's inside circle one, looking at the birdie putt.
Cale going his trusty M4s. He gone all 4 rounds,
Yeah,
but just turns it a little too quick into the tree there.
Yeah, and that tree is playing as a Mando. If you're wondering why these guys are all throwing this turnover shot, you must throw to the left of that tree in the middle there, as Michael Joe did. May have faded out a little early outside the circle.
And what's Philo rocking out here? A little DX rock shot again?
Yeah, but maybe turned a little too much. Nope.
Oh, hit the outhouse.
Still look for a putt, though, for that birdie, too. Cale, after hitting that tree early, just looking to get up and down there.
Yeah, that's really all you can hope for after hitting an early tree. MJ giving it a little bit of a bid, but being that far outside the circle and that uphill. Oh, no.
Out of his hand, I thought it was in.
I think out of his hand, he thought it was in.
There you go, Philo. Nice birdie there.
Yeah, taking a nice little redirection off of that outhouse or shed area and put himself in a wide open spot to get the birdie, too. Everyone else is going to be tapping in for their pars. Probably a little disappointed as this hole played a third of a stroke under par for the field. But after 15 holes, we see that Philo has caught up to MJ, both at 17 under par. Cale still sitting at 14. Calvin still sitting at 16. And we just played the 3rd easiest hole. We are going on to the 4th easiest hole, playing .28 strokes under par. Hole 16, 606 feet. What are players trying to do here?
You can go big, or you can take it a little more conservative here, maybe a mid-range up it. But if you're going big, a much easier shot for the birdie.
Yeah, definitely. The further you get down this fairway, especially because the basket's a little blind under the crest of the hill, you have an easier upshot. However, the further you go down the fairway, the more out of bounds comes into play. Oh, Kelvin just looks like he's throwing a layup sidearm, but flares into the bush line.
Yeah, he's going to have an interesting shot from there. About 2/3 of the way down the fairway, there is a pole to the right-hand side, which plays as a Mando to make sure players aren't throwing over the road and maybe making it dangerous.
And with 3 holes left, MJ is getting pretty aggressive on us. Going roller goes out of bounds pretty early, but does it roll back in?
It rolled back in.
It rolled back in! Barely! Oh my lord. Nice one, MJ.
And Philo. Good looking forehand. Looks
Yeah,
like
he just
circle's
nestled
edge.
outside Circle's Edge, a.k.a. the spot where Garrett Gerthy's roller landed in round 3.
That's
Spoiler
right, and you
alert.
have a little patent pending. Calvin Heimburg trying to get over on it, but looks like he's outside circle 2 there, and he's going to have a difficult putt for a birdie.
And Cale just getting over the hill, but not enough to glide into the circle. He's going to be sitting about 40 feet away from the pin. And we have MJ, after the fantastic roller, standstill putter to right next to the pin.
That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the hole. There's go in.
Oh, and
If you bite off more than you could chew, it's a much easier birdie, as you just saw MJ put it under the basket, and he's going to walk away. What a putt by Cale, though.
Wow. Ending the round, he is 70 holes in, playing an exhausting course, but still has enough gusto to hit a outside the circle putt.
And here's Calvin coming back. Great putt, Calvin, for par.
That was a little bit of a doozy for Calvin. He ran that birdie putt, skipped off of the basket. I didn't realize he went that far behind it.
And there's Philo. I believe we did miss MJ's tap in for his birdie 3, but he got it, as well as Cale, and both Calvin and Philo with the par 4s. We are only 2 holes remaining here, Steve. 17, the island hole. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, 300 feet, plays about 280 feet over water the entire way. The landing strip is wider than it's tall, so players are going to be taking a hyzer approach into the green. If they do miss the green, they have to go back to a drop zone, where really throwing it in for a 3 isn't an option because it brings OB so much more in the play from there.
Yeah, it looks like MJ's taking more of a straight route here, which is kind of... Oh, it hyzered. Okay, but he parked it. It doesn't matter.
Classic MJ doing MJ things.
That is right, and Philo,
Philo saying, come on, get going, get going.
Oh, it hits the land and rolls back. What an unfortunate roll back there. Calvin, can he hit the green? Ooh, almost hits the basket. And Philo looking to just get up and down here, maybe throw it in.
Yeah, maybe he was giving that a little bit of run, saying, you know what? I know the payouts. They're deep. If I hit this, it could be worth hundreds of dollars.
If not thousands. And there's Cale putting in for his birdie. Back-to-back birdies there for Cale.
Yeah.
Back-to-back? No, I think it's just back-to-back.
Yep. Yeah, he's got 3 out of the last 4, which is great because those 3 of the last 4 holes wiped away the triple bogey he took on 13. Now he can go into 18 with a little more confidence and saying, let's finish this out the right way.
That's right. We see 3 of the 4 guys on the card taking birdie 2s, and Philo going out of bounds, going from the drop zone and just taking that 4. Moving on to the final hole of the 2018 Ledgestone tournament here. Steve, what is it all about?
Man, this is it. And it is no easy one. 711 feet, par 4. Players need to really be pinpoint accurate of where their drive lands because there's only a handful of landing zones where they have a route to get to the pin.
That's right. We've seen rollers. We've seen forehands, power backhands. Looks like Cale's keeping it low. And we failed to mention in previous coverages, but there is a Mando tree that you must stay to the left of. It's that tree right in the middle of the screen right now. So that is a Mando tree, and we see MJ putting down a good-looking roller here, as long as it doesn't hit anything.
Oh, there we have it.
Looks like he's going to land in the little playground. That is casual relief. I think he is in the playground, but...
Great decision by the TD to give casual relief away from the playground. The TD and the supporting staff really impressed me this weekend. We saw that earlier in the week that the fresh tee pads, the permanent tee pads we have at the course now were a little bit slick, and our tournament staff was very proactive and did everything in their power to make sure that our players had better footing, whether giving natural pads and actually attacking those tee pads during the 3rd round to give themselves a little bit more grip.
Yeah, it was a bold call by them making a change like that mid-tournament, but all props to them. They made the decision. They went through with it. And from what I heard, the tee pads were better after they made the change. So
that's
props
fantastic.
To them.
Yeah, way to be pretty proactive and doing right by the players. MJ throwing just around the playground, but that must have just obstructed his lie or his angle enough because he is far outside circle 2 right now.
Oh, a good tree direct there for Philo.
Was that a tree direct or a bench direct?
Oh, it might have been a bench direct.
Either way, hit an object, kick towards the pin. Hit an object, did not kick towards the pin there, by the way.
And Calvin's going to be outside circle 1, but we've seen some good putts from him. Wouldn't be surprised to see that one going in.
MJ having a fantastic round so far. All the weight must be off his shoulders, knowing that he's just going to have a tap-in part to finish this round, putting him in a pretty high standing to finish the event. Ooh, way to go, Calvin.
I think I called it. Oh, and we get a little slow-mo. Calvin Heimburg, hole 18.
I love rolling back and checking out that slow-mo there.
We have Philo a similar distance to Calvin. Let's see if he can match it.
Oh,
right
just
there,
off the tray. Gives it a valiant effort,
and
but
he's got
skips.
A big tester here. Oh, good putt, Philo.
Wow, way to save the par after skipping 25 feet past the basket.
And Cale setting in for his part, as will MJ. Just watch out, watch your head. All right, he's good.
And there we have it. 72 holes of play at the exhausting, challenging, demanding, great Lake Eureka course. We see Cale at 16 under par, as well as Philo at 16 under par, Calvin at 18 under par, and Michael Johansen 7 down for the round, 19 under par.
And that's all we have for your 2018 Ledgestone Insurance Open, brought to you by Discraft. If you haven't already, check out the previous 3 rounds, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah!